Buenos días, hola, good day. This is Spanish 121 called Connect. It's the same program that we have on ground based on puntos de partida. I would recommend that you print this document from the Connect website. Let's see. The contact information for me, sort of in an act of desperation, is phone number. It's 360-475-7116, but the best way to connect with me is through my email, which is printed here. It's easier for you to read it. And I would like you to use the OC email to connect with me rather than going to Canvas. Okay, we're not going to do anything on Canvas. We're just going to stay with the Connect. For technical support, you need to call the CARE support office at Connect, which is 800-331-5094. They will ask you if you're a student or an instructor, and you will get a group of people who are very, very helpful. And they are on 24/7. You can also go online at mpss.mhhe.com, which is the McGraw-Hill site, and then if you're having difficulties, you can ask any kind of questions you want. You may have to download or update some of your software, which is it's just very normal. They will guide you through that, and they will tell you what to do. This Spanish 121 then is an online course. It can be hybrid as well, and it's called Connect because it is online, but it is based on the same book that you're using on ground. So if you decide that the online system is not your cup of tea or your glass of tequila, you may simply switch to one of the on-ground classes within the first 2 weeks of the quarter, because the courses are parallel, so you can move. I have listed here course goals, a set of goals, which I will briefly read to you. You need to involve yourself in Hispanic world and learn about the people and the traditions, their feelings and their behavior especially, so that you can fit in a culture easily when you travel to visit. You need to learn vocabulary and grammar in their functional use. That is to say, you need to learn verbs and verb tenses and pronouns and be able to use them correctly. And you also need to learn sentence structure. That is to say a sentence normally, correctly, rather than starting at the end of a sentence. And you are expected to cover a certain amount of information. You need to, at the end of this course, you need to demonstrate that you have acquired basic vocabulary, and you need to express very familiar and daily situations, nothing complicated. You need to demonstrate a functional use of grammar patterns. That is to say, you need to write and speak correctly. You need to be able to respond to oral messages, which is probably the hardest thing to understand what people are saying. But you need to learn how to recognize that information. There is a lot of listening exercises in your workbook and in your textbook, so you won't have problems. By the end, you will feel comfortable. You also need to demonstrate clear pronunciation, very good pronunciation, so that people understand what you're trying to say. And you need to learn a little bit about the geography and culture of some Spanish-speaking countries. Okay, you need to have access to a computer, and you need a plan B. That is to say, if your computer crashes, you need to know what to do. So you can figure out where you can have access to a computer, or rent one, or come on campus, or borrow from a friend. Okay, your computer should be equipped with a webcam and with a Skype program. Skype is free. You can download it. I have guidelines on how to do it, steps on how to download that, because you will be doing your oral presentation on Skype, and so you need a webcam so that I can see your face. And you will only need the materials that are found online. You can also buy it at the bookstore. The textbook is called Puntos de Partida. Otherwise, you have it as an e-book. And then you have a workbook and a laboratory manual. You also should consider getting a headset for listening to the videos and the online activities, and you will need to have a word processing software and for writing paragraphs and things like that, and then just pasting them onto the space that you will be provided. But you should consider using MS Word or Mac Pages if you use a Mac. For the ebook and the laboratory manual as well as the workbook, we will cover the first 6 chapters or lessons, and they are roughly distributed as 1.5 weeks per chapter. In the summer quarter, however, the course is intensive. There are only 4 weeks, and the distribution translates as 1 chapter every 4 days. You need to complete all the required exercises. Most of them are automatically corrected, and so you will have several attempts to check on the results. Except for mi diario, which is my diary, and the entrevista, which is an interview. They are personal reports, and they are short sentences and essays. They will be corrected manually by the instructor. The tests will be taken online. There will be a total of 5 tests, as you had in 121, 4 written tests that sometimes include 1 chapter or 2 chapters, and then you will have the oral, which counts just as a regular normal test. You will have a list of information that to address for your oral presentation. There are no makeup tests. You will have 2 or 3 days really to complete your test, and once you start you will have 90 minutes and sometimes 100 minutes depending on how many exercises you have in the test. So you must take the test on the specified day. If you think you will have any kind of problems, you need to let me know well ahead of time so that I can deal with you individually and see what we can do. Okay? Let's see, the grades. Grades are going to include, the final grading is going to include everything. It's going to be based on a cumulative calculation of homework percentages and test scores. So please do your homework and make sure you do it right, because everything counts. All right, and not only just for your grade's sake, but because if you don't do your homework, you really will not succeed in doing your tests correctly, ultimately. There is a policy for using Skype and webcam system when you take your oral examination. This is a binding contract. I will let you read the details, but it will involve using a webcam and showing me your ID, picture ID, next to you as you're taking the oral exam. I will send a list of names and with dates, with times to call me, and we can always shuffle the parts around if you cannot do it on that specified time and day. The rest of details are on your syllabus, which is going to be online. I would encourage you, and I really think you should definitely visit it and print it. Okay? So, hasta pronto. I'll see you then.